In the early days of Russia's invasion, the skies above Ukraine were largely unprotected. Russian jets conducted air raids deep behind the front lines. But Ukraine was able to deploy its air defences. Ukrainian forces have shot down dozens of Russian fighter jets, helicopters, other aircraft and missiles.
The Russian Air Force retains a huge amount of potential firepower. It's just not being able to use it effectively at the moment because Ukraine is still denying them access to Ukrainian airspace above very low level because they still have these surface-to-air missile systems. But Ukrainian stocks of missiles for air defense were not nearly intended to last this long. There's been very high intensity use for a long time.
Meanwhile, Russia is using Iranian-made loitering drones and long-range missile strikes to pound Ukraine's cities and infrastructure.
The West really needs to focus on delivering additional ammunition and eventually replacement SAM systems with systems we can more easily support, because of course these are Soviet-era systems that we don't use ourselves in the West.
Western nations have supplied various air defense systems. Ukraine's defense minister said on Twitter Monday his country had received the first American NASAMS and Italian-made ASPEED systems from the US, Norway and Spain.
The priority number one is air defence systems. Our partners know this very well.
Germany sent an Iris-T air defence system last month and is supplying dozens of Gepard anti-aircraft tanks. France has sent its Crotale air defence system. But the report authors say Ukraine needs more from the West. Advanced fighter aircraft would also create an important deterrent.
Even a small number of Western fighters equipped with missiles and radars that are able to meet Russian fighters on relatively equal terms.
The likely consequence of Russia gaining control of the skies is tragically evident, says Bronk.
We know what happens in Syria when the Russian Air Force is able to attack with relative impunity from medium and higher altitudes. Large-scale bombardments with a lot of unguided bombs on not just frontline positions but also besieged cities. We remember Aleppo and Homs.
Those cities were all but destroyed by Russian and Syrian government airstrikes in 2015 and 2016 at the height of the civil war. Tens of thousands of people were killed, forcing a withdrawal of rebel forces. As Russia's ground forces are forced back in eastern Ukraine, analysts fear the Kremlin wants to repeat the tactics used in Syria on Ukrainian cities. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.